Hi, my name's Charity, and I'd like to take a brief moment to talk to you about the power of thoughts. Specifically, as World Suicide Prevention Day approaches, what is the power of thoughts on our desire or will to live? Thoughts have power. When we think things, we are interpreting the world around us. We are assigning meaning and categorizing things in our brain. We send signals, electrical impulses through our brain, through certain neural pathways to be able to connect with certain ideas, memories, and responses as well. Responses that our body makes, our nervous system makes, emotional and behavioral responses, and even spiritual responses and reflection. So thoughts are very powerful, and research has shown that there's certain categories of thoughts related most to suicide. These categories also are often related to depression, and people who have depression are on average 20 times more at risk of suicidal ideation or thoughts of suicide and suicidal attempts. So it's important to harness the power of our thoughts and be aware of what those thoughts are. The categories that research shows impacts our desire to live are categories of thoughts about worth, so how worthwhile are we? How much worthiness do we have? Categories of thought around hope. So how much hope do we have for the future? Or are we feeling hopeless? And then categories as well around love. So how much self-love and self-regard do we have? Self-compassion. How much do we feel love and express love in our lives? And so these three categories of thoughts contribute to our emotional well-being and our desire to live. So again, worthiness or worthwhileness. When we think that we are worthwhile, that we contribute in meaningful ways, that we have value, that helps us to be resilient in our thought patterns and our desire to live. When we think that we're worthless or we're not good enough, or we're constantly making comparisons, where we fall short, those are trains of thoughts that contribute to less of a desire to live. So check yourself, what types of thoughts do you have about yourself, and how worthwhile you are, how much value you have. Other thoughts are about hope. So how much hope do we have for our future, or how much pessimism or hopelessness do we have about our future? So hope building is an incredible thing, and there's a series of techniques and interventions actually that we can use to increase our hope. One of those simple techniques is to think about times that you have struggled, hard times, difficult times, but that you have made it through. And what helped you to be resilient? What inner strengths did you have, or outer strengths? Connection to community and others and family, or the earth and other living things, to pets, to plants. What connections, what strengths, what things helped you to be resilient? And so thinking back on those times when we're feeling especially hopeless or pessimistic about the future is really, really important to building our hope reservoir. And then the last thing is all about love. Do we love ourselves? Do we have unconditional positive regard for ourselves? Do we have self-compassion or compassion directed towards ourselves, forgiveness and understanding and respect? Do we experience love? And what is that like for us? Feeling loved is really important for a desire to live. And there may be times in your life that you feel disconnected, that you may struggle or not think that you are cared for. But I would encourage you to think about, even, if it's not in this moment of time, presently, if you're in a struggle, or you've lost somebody, or you've lost that sense of love, what were other times that you had that? And how can you embrace hope for the future, that you will continue to have that? And even if not with others, for yourself. How can you have self-love and self-regard and self-compassion? So those three categories of thoughts, powerful thoughts that help us to embrace a willingness to live, have been shown to help us overcome, moments or episodes of time where we are having thoughts of suicide. So again, thoughts about hope, thoughts about our worthiness or being worthwhile and of value, and thoughts about love. So I invite you to think about those things, check your thoughts, and recognize the power of them. Thank you.